Hey guys, a little bit of a rant because I have some kids on YouTube all yelling at me because I said self-diagnosis for disabilities, a lot of it's mostly autism, is invalid and dangerous. Here's why it is. Disability, being disabled, is a legal term. You get diagnosed to get accommodations. If you don't need accommodations, quite frankly, you probably don't have it. I have extremely mild autism, and I'm on disability income, and probably will be for the rest of my life. I have some other disabilities as well that were diagnosed throughout my life, clinically. But that's the reality of it. Being disabled isn't cute. I'm 35 years old, 34. Oh my god, I'm tired. I have a seasonal job right now, and I am overwhelmed to shit, and I only work 2 days a week. That's what disability is. That's what being disabled is, okay? It's not, I'm quirky and cute. I have sensory problems. That's not what it is. It's, I need accommodations or I cannot function day to day. Oh my god. If you think you have something, please go talk to a doctor. Go seek diagnosis. It's expensive. No, it's not. Your insurance pays for it. If your insurance doesn't pay for it, payment plans, talk to billing, they'll break it up. If you're below a certain income level, I'm talking about the US, by the way. If you're below a certain income level, you can get waves. There fee waves. There are vouchers for discounts on medical care. If you actually need it, by the way, it's all worth it at the end. If you actually need it, you make it work, okay? I'm below the poverty line. I'm on disability income. I have food stamps, okay? Like, it's worth it if you struggle. Okay, the government doesn't recognize your self-diagnosis. How are you going to get your 504 plans, your IEP plans, your jury duty exemptions, your disability income? How are you going to do all that? Your health insurance, because you can get disability health insurance through the government. How are you going to do all that on a self-diagnosis? Even if your self-diagnosis, by some luck of the draw, ends up being correct, it's still meaningless. It doesn't mean anything, because you can't do anything with it. You can't do anything with it. I don't really care about all these why you think it's valid. There's no reason for it, even if it was, like, socially valid. There's still no reason for it. Because what are you going to do? Go commit perjury on all of those documents? No, that is so illegal. You'd end up in prison. Hello? ADHD, for an example, that one's actually an extremely easy one to get. And it's another one people are like, it's so hard. Your primary care can diagnose you. Oh, they don't diagnose adults. My mom is 60 and just got diagnosed recently. I don't want to hear it. I'm done. You're 26 or under? You're on your parents' health insurance. I don't have health insurance. If you're 26 or under, you most likely do. That's not, you never know. Some may have gone off it, but you are allowed to be on your parents' health insurance until you are 26 years old. Self-diagnosis is not valid because of the legal definitions. And that's the purpose of it for the law. It's a legal status to be disabled. That's it. That's all it is. It's a legal status, nothing else. And it is dangerous because if you get it wrong and you start addressing those issues, for example, bipolar disorder and borderline personality disorder, very different things, but they appear very similar. Unless you are a professional, you won't know. You won't notice the difference. I'm diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. I was diagnosed in a psychiatric hospital in 2016, I think it was. After over a decade, like 15 years or so, of being misdiagnosed as bipolar. And this is with professionals, by the way. I was on medication for something I didn't have for, again, about 15 years, inducing a horrific depression and unaliving ideation of myself and others, actually. Welcome to what getting it wrong can do, and that's with clinical people who know what they're doing. So imagine you doing it to yourself, and then you look up all these therapies or whatever, and you got it wrong the whole time, and you could be making yourself significantly worse off if you do have something and you misidentified it. That's what's wrong with self-diagnosis. If you think you've got symptoms of stuff, then say you got symptoms of stuff. I got chronic pain, and my sister has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I have all the symptoms of that. I'm not diagnosed, so you know what I say? I have chronic pain. I have hypermobile joints. That a doctor did confirm with me. Twice, actually. You know, like, that's what you can do. Because that's not self-diagnosed. Honestly, even saying, I think I have insert thing here, isn't that bad. But actually saying you have it, and you're not a doctor, even if you're a doctor and saying it about yourself, that is considered unethical. They're not even, well, I don't think they're allowed to diagnose themselves. And I think they are, as far as I'm aware. If there's any doctors, correct me here. While I think, to my knowledge, they are legally allowed to diagnose family, it is not ethical, so they don't do it. And that, again, that's people with medical licensing. If you're some rando, it's don't do it. Why? Do you need attention? What is it for? What's the purpose? Sit back and think to yourself, why do I need to say I have this? If it's because you need accommodation, then you need to get a diagnosis. If it's because of any other reason besides that, then you need to look inside yourself. Okay, because one, if it is something like autism you think you have, do you feel like you need to apologize for being a little weird if you do or don't have it? Because you don't. You don't need to apologize to people for being yourself. You don't. Is it because you want attention? Well, in all honesty, I would talk to a therapist. They'll put you in the right path. You could honestly have a whole slew of things if that's why. Craving attention to the point of saying you have all, that's a real mental illness. I believe it's called fictitious disorder. I hate the updated name for it because it sounds so malicious. Munchausen's originally. My friend's mom had that. It's a real thing. No shame in that. Not saying you all have it for sure. Like, that's insane. I can't say that. But a lot of people don't know that that's a real mental illness. So I feel the need, I'm just going to put it out there. There's tons of other things. Or you might have nothing. You could just be a teenager. Being a teenager sucks. Or, in all honesty, you could have the thing you think you have. So, talk to your doctor. Talk to your doctor. They'll help you figure it out. If you have learning disability wonders about yourself, talk to your teachers. They'll write you the referrals in your school system if it's still done the way it was when I got my neuropsych, but way back in like 1998 or 9, something like that. I'm pretty sure my school system was required to pay for it. My insurance didn't have to do it. My school system had to do it. All right? Like, if you don't need accommodations, you don't need the diagnosis. Simple as that. If you need accommodations, there's your paths. Enough with the self-diagnosis stuff. It's not helpful to you. It's not helpful to anybody else around you. It's truly not. Because what does it do for you? Nothing. Nothing. How does it help you? It doesn't. How does real diagnosis help you? 504s, IEPs, jury duty exemptions, disability income, insurance, accommodations for employment. Depending on what it is, you can get bus fare. My stepdad, this one, you still need the papers, but like my stepdad, for example, is legally blind. He gets free bus fare and train fare because he legally cannot get his driver's license. So all sorts of things like that. DMH workers help getting a job. What's the other one? It's not called DMR anymore, but I'm sure you know the one I'm talking about. Workers with that. So many things, if you actually get a diagnosis on paper, that can help you. So for the love of all that is good, if you think you have something, do that. Don't self-diagnose. Talk to a doctor. Bye.